back to headlines now. Having encountered some turbulence back in 2009 with regard to employee relations, the management of the country's largest private air carrier, Jet Airways, is employing new and novel ideas. Take a look.
The country's aviation space was thrown out of gear in the autumn of 2009, all because an HR call by Jet Airways went wrong. In retaliation, over 1,000 jet pilots and flight crew members reported sick and brought the company to a standstill. The management decided that a new policy for internal customers, the staff, was needed. And what better than theatre?
Did I? What I meant was quite different, utterly different, entirely different, as different as chalk from cheese.
These performers are not trained artists, but amateurs, and are engineers, management staff, pilots, cabin crew and accountants of the company.
All began when about 1.5 years ago, I think you remember the episode of my father, Naresh Goyal, when he took back his stuff. You know, I remember those words. Nivan and I, who's my brother and I, we were in London. And my father turned around and said, you know, they are my family and I want to take them back. Those words, they are my family, strung a chord in my heart. Because I then said that, you know, I'm obviously a part of this family and I need to, you know, shoulder my father.
Designed to break the ice between the ranks, senior management is only too impressed with this initiative.
It's working very well, sending a lot of message. It shows there is so much talent in the company that we need to use and get the best potential which is available.
It's a case of drama to the rescue. But will the stage act resolve employees' retention and satisfaction concerns? Well, the jury is still out. In Chennai, with Ashmit Kumar, this is Zoya Thomas for NDTV Hindu.
Well, and in some action from the Lal Street, it was a volatile day of trade with again buying activity in the last hour of trade really pushing up the indices with the Nifty reclaiming the 5,700 levels. Let's take a look at what made the indices move.
It was a positive day of trade for the Lal Street, but this only came in after the markets witnessed selling pressure in the first half of trade. The Nifty dipped below that 5650 mark and then did a sharp U-turn from then the last hour of trade to end the day at 5711, up about 20 odd points. Breadth of the market was nothing special. Volumes were also fairly low, but in terms of broader markets, the gains were being led by the frontline and the mid-cap stocks. In terms of the Nifty movers, Jindal Steel gained about 2.5%, so one of the top gainers coming in on the Nifty. Bajaj Auto was off about 2 odd percent, despite the fact that the company has posted a good set of numbers, but margins remain a pressure, so on back of that the stock continues to look weak. Reliance Communication gained about 2 odd percent, while Reliance Industries lost just about 1% odd ahead of its numbers tomorrow. Talking about the various sectors, a very mixed trend emerging in terms of sectors. Earnings optimism continues to drive the banking space. All banking stocks ended the day on a positive note. iBank was up about 2.5%. HDFC Bank gained about 2 odd percent. Kotak Mahindra Bank reported a good set of numbers. The stock was up 1.5%, and Yes Bank numbers came in also very strong. The stock gaining just over 1 odd percent. Talking about the other sectors, sugar space also witnessed buying action. So the likes of Balrampur Chini, Dwarikesh Renuka Sugars and KM Sugars were the top gainers in terms of volume in the sugar space. Moving on from the sugar stocks, it's another sector that I quickly want to mention, and this is of course the oil and gas sector. This actually limited the kind of gains that you could have possibly seen on the Lal Street today. GAIL was up 3.5% on back of disappointing numbers. HPCL, ONGC and BPCL were amongst the other losers coming through from the oil and gas index. There are a few people calling it the Jayapal Reddy effects on back of the change in portfolio of the oil and gas sector. There is a bit of nervousness that continues to weigh on the space. In terms of the mid-cap space, mid-cap multimedia was off about 79 odd percent, as the stock will now trade ex-entitlement from today. Tata Coffee continues to gain 6 odd percent after it struck that alliance with Starbucks. HCL Infosystems lost about 5 odd percent after it sold a loss-making unit, but on a disclosed amount. SKS Microfinance gained about 4 odd percent on back of specific news of the microfinance sector. So all in all, a positive day of trade, but what's going to be important is where we go from here on, and earnings will continue to drive the sentiment on the Lal Street.
Well, that was action from the D Street. Moving ahead, Chennai city celebrates the auspicious Tamil festival Thai Pusam today. We leave you with these visuals. Thanks for watching.